Wow. Timing. Timing. Wow.
Listen to me, guys. I'm the best striker this division. I'm Smash Israel Adesanya.
Keep my name out your mouth. What did I do? Like, why you say f me for?
I'm like, what do you say f me for?
Heavy. Hand sanitizer boy with the win. Heavy. Well done, Ilia. Give you his due, lad. 16-0. Hand sanitizer boy. Can't wait for him to come back up to lightweight. Still think I'd beat him. I really do. I still think I'd beat him, lad, whether he's just beat Max Holloway or not. I still think I'd beat him, lad, by kicking him on the feet or taking him down or submitting him. I genuinely think I'd beat him, but congrats, Ilia Topuria. Well done, son. Congratulations, lad. Didn't see that coming, but give him his due. Good finish. Max was the better boxer, but Ilia's the better swinger, isn't he? And he ended up catching him with them big shots on the button. So congrats, fella. Can't wait for Val to come back and beat you up. I'm willing to anytime.
Magomed Ankalaev versus Alexander Rakic. Holy shit. What a pretty boring fight. Pretty boring, fellas. But I'm gonna be real. I'm always gonna be real whenever it comes to talking about fights. And this fight was boring. It showed a lack of weapons. I'm not gonna say on Rakic's side, because Rakic kind of got into his bag a little bit and kind of showed some of the weapons he has. Showed a lack of weapons on Magomed's end. I'll get into that later. It seems like we probably gonna be on a collision course. Rakic showed a lack of fight IQ, a real big lack of fight IQ. Magomed is wholeheartedly a counter fighter. You know what I mean? That's what I mean by lack of tools. Lack of tools is being able to come forward and enter things that actually get you forward. That's not something that he's good at doing, which against Alex, now that I'm saying, it's going to be a problem. You're assuming he gets the title shot now. You know, you never know that giving somebody a title shot off of a performance like that. I mean, obviously he's got the resume. He deserves the title shot, but that performance sucked, and I know that they don't like him. So you never know.
Mentioned at Power Slap the other night was stuff about Francis Ngannou, and that stirred up a lot of reaction from the MMA community and from Francis himself. And he had a very interesting quote. Can I read you a little bit? He said, he can't handle this loss, referring to you. I'm sure he's been praying for my downfall. Which money is he talking about? The money that he owes me. They say we're going to give you back pay from the money we owe you from the Stipe and Ciryl Gane fights. All that, they never paid me back. Now I've made more money than I would have ever made in the UFC. I would say twice the money in my entire UFC career.
Yeah. When have you ever heard a story in all the years we've been in business, even when it was upside down, where we owed somebody money? Never happened. So he's fully there. Then I lost. I didn't lose anything. I was done with Francis after the. He actually owes me money because we had to watch that fight with him and the Black Beast. He should actually pay me back for that fight, and all of you. And me praying for it. Trust me, I don't think about Francis that much. You guys asked me the question about the PFL. And I responded. Other than that, the only one who's praying for his demise is probably the PFL, because they signed a shitty contract with a guy that doesn't deliver any numbers in ticket sales or pay-per-views. So, and they got to keep paying this guy for however long, and good for him, and not good for them.
Yeah, and I know
what was the other question?
It was. I know you said like he's all about the money, but then you also said like he would have made more money to stay here.
And that's a fact. He can play those games all he wants. He would have made more money here.
And just lastly,
let me tell you what. There were two guys here. I wanted to cut them. Someday I'll tell you the story. Francis was like, I was all about Francis in the beginning, and then I found out who Francis was. And I told the two guys who asked me not to cut Francis, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. And, yeah, believe me, I have no sleepless nights over Francis leaving.
So just two more things on this.
Yep.
You wanted to cut him, but he went on to become the UFC heavyweight champion. So I guess what does that say about that thought process?
Yeah.
Does it show he should have
Well,
stayed?
no. I didn't like Francis as a person. Wasn't a guy I wanted to do business with. My boys were telling me he's misunderstood. And I told them, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Yeah, it wasn't about him becoming the heavyweight champion of the world. Francis isn't a good guy. He plays the good guy. I don't understand the language, and so he seems like he's a nice guy. He's not, and he's just not a guy that I wanted to be in business with. Period. End of story. Whether he became the champion or not.
And I assume you don't want to be in business with him ever again, but
We won't be. We'll never be in business together. You can tell.
yeah.
We don't like each other. And this goes way back. This goes back to before the first Stipe fight. He pulled some shit before the first Stipe fight, and I said, I'm done with this guy. And then Stipe beat the shit out of him. Great night. And then, yeah, we never had a relationship after that.
Well, I know you said John Jones would walk out of any room, so wouldn't it be gratifying to put him in a room with Francis?
He didn't
see
want that
happen?
fight. He could have stayed and took that fight. He didn't want that fight. Tom Aspinall deserves that fight.
Is if the UFC comes out and announces a title fight between Dracus and Sean Strickland, how will you react to that?
I don't care. I will wait for that. So for me, it doesn't matter. Sean or Dracus or Easy, it doesn't matter. So give me the money and the belt. I'm fighting for the money for the belt.
Is also in the prediction. Potentially, if they did fight Ilia versus Makhachev, what would you think? Who would win?
I mean, bro, it's hard to go against Islam. It's hard to go against him. His fighting style is a tough one. He likes wrestling. He likes striking. Now he's falling in love with his striking. So, I mean, it's hard to bet against Islam.
А в 15 лет уже переехал в Испанию. Что ты можешь знать об улице? Спасибо.
Question to Ilia. First of all, congratulations on winning the title. And before the title match, there was a couple of weeks ago when you were asked a question about a fight with Makhachev, and you said something about, if we have to fight on the street, then I would have to pay his medical bills. The question is, what do you know about the street, because you were born in Germany and then you moved to Spain? So what would you know about it?
Can you speak in English, please? Thank you.
ქართულად დაიჭირე ტრადუქტორი და გადათარგმნე. გადაუთარგმნეს რამე ქართულად ამას უთხარი. ხო.
Ilia just asked who bring this guy in this room.
I've come by myself.
So you're gonna have to stand up and leave the room by yourself.
Why is that?
Ilia. What he does. They say.
Mate, very disappointed. It is what it is. Came to fight, and mate, he was the better man on the day. I felt great. Everything was on point, and it just wasn't my night.
But how do you feel health-wise? How's your teeth?
I'm alright. Like, it wasn't the jaws, the teeth. The teeth got pushed in. I've always had the kind of like loose teeth. They got looser. So yeah, it is what it is. It's part of the. It's not always glamorous in this job, but I get to go home. Congratulations to Chimaev, tough guy. A lot of respect for me, so I have a lot of respect for him. But on to better things, I'm going to be better from this, and Yeah.
And which moment did you actually broke your teeth? Can you remember?
Was it him squeezing or was it before?
No, it was the face crank. Like his forearm just went straight on the bottom tooth. I didn't have a moment to turn the head or anything. It was just like, it was just on. It was on. It is what it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are 9 days away from the most important election of my lifetime. Stakes have never been higher, and the choice has never been clearer. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. The reigning, defending, 155-pound champion of the UFC, the notorious Conor McGregor! Thank you, New York. Have a good night.